What's going on, guys? You know what it is. It's the RPO podcast. Thank you for being and tuning in with us. Shout out to the Air It Out podcast. Those guys was killing it. They was on the podcast right before us. So if you haven't seen that, go make sure you check that out. It was a great episode, and I like chiming in the background and stuff like that. But we here on a special night. Wasn't feeling well yesterday, so we on a Friday. Well, sorry, Thursday night. I'm trying to skip my days already. My guy Ray Roberts. We always love talking college football. So if you love college football, please tune in. Have your comments in here. We will have open comments and we will respond to them. But I gotta introduce the man, the myth, the legend, right over there, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good, man. Well, I'm okay.
Probably better today than you were on Saturday, right? Mute yourself.
Guys, know you're
in and out on me, Jerome. I don't know about everybody else,
good.
but
It was a good week. So, you guys, I'm having some major internet issues today. Don't know why. It happened the last couple seconds of Air It Out podcast. So I don't know what's going on. But want to talk some college football. We're gonna get into our first game, and today we're gonna talk about our first game. Maryland game, 38-25. Ray, how do you feel about? I think that was one of our pick'em games, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember that. It was not. No, I didn't think so. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think Tagovailoa played a really, really, really good game. He's showing that he is a prospect, if nothing else. I don't think he's going to be a legit NFL starter or a good starting caliber quarterback, but he has some ability, some athleticism. He has enough talent to get a shot. I mean, I like the kid. I mean, I'm sure being a Dolphins fan, and because I'm a Dolphin, I root for Tua. And I think that his brother shows a lot of the same, moxie, knows how to play the position well. Maryland's a tough team because they're a little up and down. But, I mean, when they're up, they play well. So I was more surprised by Indiana giving up all them points and losing the game. I thought they probably were going to win, to be honest with you. Indiana is the one team in the Big Ten who has not played well this year.
Definitely. Indiana was a team that, we thought was going to be better this year. They didn't play as good as we thought. But I think with them being, playing as well with Maryland for next year now, Michael Penix had not played the game. He had 202 touchdowns. Like you said, Tua Tolaya, how do you say his name? He had a really 419 yards. That's a lot of yards. They only had 81. I always look at the rushing yards as well. And I just think it's that game was, if you like explosive plays, air raiding, ball in the air, that was the game for you.
Yeah, that part of it was very exciting. Wasn't a game I really watched. I just watched the highlights actually last night, to be honest with you. But again, I root for Tua's brother. I'm not even sure how to, I guess Talaya. I don't know how to even
Talaya.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I'd rather just say his last name now. Tagovailoa. It's a lot easier now than saying that first name. But
yeah, exactly.
I like the kid though. I think he's exciting. The Famatu, their running back, had 2 rushing touchdowns, but didn't really run for a lot of yards. It was kind of like you said, mostly through the air is how they hurt him. So,
100%. Yeah, it was this is one of those high flying games that you're like, like I said, you can go into it and then you just like it. It's like one of those, Ravens versus Chiefs games, where it's a lot of passing. It's a lot of passing in those games. A lot of balls in the game. So let's get to our next game, Ray. We're gonna go to Pittsburgh versus. Tell about that game, Ray.
I think that Kenny Pickett, the quarterback for Pittsburgh, is showing that this kid has some real upside as an NFL player right now. Some people may say that he would be the first quarterback taken, and I would not argue with that. I'm not sure I would do that, but he has played very, very well this year after playing fairly well last year and moving on to Pittsburgh. He's played very well in Pittsburgh this year. So, little surprised that they lost to Miami because I think, even though I'm not sure if we picked this game or not, I was excited by what I saw of the Miami quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke. He's another kid like under the radar a little bit, but he has actually showed that he has some quarterback ability. He moves well in the pocket, has a nice touch on the ball. So he's an exciting surprise for me. I didn't know a whole lot about going in, because then the other quarterback gets hurt and he's playing and he looks really good. Very, very good actually. So we'll see.
Yeah. 42 attempts, 428 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. In the depth chart 2 months ago, redshirt freshman. So they put him in there and see what happened, and it's paying out. It's panning out for them. Pittsburgh, a team that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. That is being led by Pickett. Now, Pickett did throw those 2 interceptions. That was a difference maker. But, this team, Pittsburgh is a good team. Don't get me wrong. They lost to Miami. They were favored by 9.5 in this game, too. But
that's the killer right there. And the fact that Pickett had like the 2 picks, which kind of, I'm sure – if you're a fan, you're thinking, well, if he doesn't do that, we probably lose. The real reason why Pittsburgh was not enough balance to their offense in this week.
I agree.
Game.
You could say that for both sides though. Like Pickett threw for 519 yards with only 68 rushing yards, and then Miami 428 yards with only 64 yards rushing. So you can say the same on both sides.
You can, but at least Knighton averaged a little over 4 yards a carry. He had a decent game. He scored 2 touchdowns. Charleston Rambo for Miami went off. He's really a very nice player. Again, I just think that if you're Pittsburgh, if you're asking your quarterback to throw the ball 55 times and he throws 2 picks, you really shouldn't be that surprised if you have no balance to your offense at all. So,
definitely. No, I agree with that. And again, this was another good game. This is a very unexpected game. This is one of those games that I didn't even want to watch it at first. I was just like, it's gonna be boring. Pittsburgh's gonna blow them out. Miami been so up and down. But like we said, Van Dyke played very well. Played very, very well in this game. I can't believe combined these 2 teams almost passed for 950 yards. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of yards.
It is, and the thing that when you see Miami play like this on offense, you're like, why can't they do that every week? But they just don't.
Yeah. For the beginning of the week, they like that kid from Houston. I forgot his name just now.
The quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, he's hurt now, so they have no choice but to play Van Dyke. But Van Dyke is a bigger, stronger kid with probably a better arm, at least more accurate. So we'll see. At least so far.
So far, so good.
Well, he's only played 2. He's played 2.5 games, but he's played pretty well the last 2. So,
no doubt about that. No doubt about that. All right, let's get to our next game. Iowa versus Wisconsin. Now, Iowa was the team that was supposed to be so good in the beginning of the year, and they were undefeated for a long time, and they just lost 2 games, and now they get destroyed by Wisconsin, 27-7. Ray, what's your takeaway from this game?
I think that Iowa is a good team. They're not as good as people thought they were, though. They're just not. Their front seven is solid. Their secondary is weak. Their offense is just not consistent at all. So,
Yeah, and I want to give you credit, Ray, because you were the one to say that Iowa wasn't as good as they looked when they were undefeated. I was kind of sipping that Kool-Aid a little bit. But Wisconsin, Wisconsin got 3 losses, one of them being from Michigan. And I think that you see how they threw that in there. Wisconsin's a good team, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, they gave Michigan some trouble. Johnny Dean, what's up? Thank you for being on, man. Appreciate you being on with us. I seen you on Air It Out Podcast, too. I appreciate you being on there as well. Wisconsin's good. And like me and you said last week, as long as they keep the ball out of Mert's hands as much as possible, he did do 22 attempts, which is not crazy amount. They're more efficient when they keep the ball on the ground as much as possible. Allen had 20 attempts for 104 yards, so that definitely helped out with that.
Sure.
Jacob Capin, what's up, my man? I knew watching Iowa passing attack at some point they'd fall off. Yeah, I mean, like Ray said, Ray called it out too. He said that Iowa don't look as efficient on offense. They don't look like they should be undefeated. Like I said, I sipped the Kool-Aid a little bit, seeing that undefeated record.
Well, I don't drink from the Big Ten Kool-Aid. So
Ooh, calm down, Mr. Independent. Thank you for being on, Jacob.
Well, hey, the nice thing about being independent is no one can ever say I'm biased towards any conference, can they?
That's true. I give you that. All right, let's go to our next game. Texas Longhorns versus Baylor. I think we both said Baylor last week, if I'm not mistaken. What we have here? Oh, I'm on the wrong.
Yeah, I got Baylor.
Yeah, we both have
Baylor. Picture right here in front of me. Yeah, we both did.
So, it was a lot closer game than I thought. And we both said this last week that Texas been this roller coaster team. I mean, look at the record, 4-4. That just tell you how much of a roller coaster team they've been. What's your takeaway from Baylor? Because they've been looking a lot better lately. What's your takeaway from this team?
I think behind their quarterback is a solid athlete. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think, again, if they want to win, they got to run the ball, try to be consistent running the ball. We know their defense is solid. So I think that's their formula. Let's run the ball with your Baylor. Take don't let behind and throw the ball any more than he needs to, and play good, solid defense. I'm not surprised that they beat Texas, because Texas is one of them. They're Miami. They're just so inconsistent, man. One week they play good, the next week they play like crap. It's really hard to get a good feeling for them.
I mean, the Oklahoma game is a testament of how that team is in general. I mean, that's just that single game is Texas the entire season, just literally like up and down, like literally
up and down, up and down, up and down, for sure.
For sure. Johnny asked a question. I want you to answer this, Ray. Who do you think is the best offensive line in college this year?
Georgia.
Ooh, okay. I agree. I might still have to say Alabama.
No, Alabama has the best depth, but the best guys playing the best continuity together right now is Georgia.
Kevin says Dave Aranda, hope I'm saying that right, deserves all the credit for the turnaround in Baylor they had this year. They got some draftable players too. I don't know a lot about Baylor's coaching staff. Ray, do you know about this young man?
I think Orlando is a good coach. I think that you still have the remnants of any time you jump up and you play and your team plays better. The last coach that was there left him some decent prospects. So let's not get too carried away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we talk about it all the time, Jerome. That's why if you're going to get rid of your coach, have another guy in his place. And Baylor did that. They hired a good coach. Mm-hmm. But let's not act like the other guy did it. He did a really good job and got a lot of prospects. And let's talk about how he turned the Baylor program around, because 5-6 years ago they were talking about not having a Baylor program. So,
oh yeah, definitely. Let's get to our next game. Speaking of great coaches or good new coaches, let's talk about West Virginia versus Iowa State. Now, West Virginia, I love their coach, Neil Brown, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
He's balling. I think he's really turning that program around. Jacob says maybe not the best offensive line, but Boston College has some guys in that unit. They play very well. Time I watch it.
I like Boston College offensive line, but like usual Boston College lines, they're like maulers. They're not athletic specimens. They're all probably play inside somewhere, but they'll play.
I could go with GA, though it goes against everything I believe. I always have look north for linemen. They play all winter, all weather. That's a good point, but
Jerome, I think we've talked about this. This is why when people want to point out like the Big
James,
East,
how you doing?
The Big East recruits on offensive linemen as well as any conference in college football. They don't usually get the wide receivers and the running back prospects that like Alabama gets and Georgia gets. I'm not saying they don't get any. They don't get as many. And they do get very good offensive linemen up there too, just like Notre Dame. The one position Notre Dame usually recruits well as offensive line.
Right, and you make a good point because you think about offensive linemen, Michigan, Iowa,
Wisconsin, Penn State,
Ohio State. I mean,
Iowa State, Iowa. I mean, Michigan State brings out all good offensive linemen here and there. I mean, that whole conference, you just got like it just you get good offensive linemen up there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, James, we will definitely do your parlay again this week. So if they have any parlays they want to shoot on here, we'll definitely talk about that. We're gonna do that right after reviews. We got a few more games, and then we'll definitely get right into that. So definitely appreciate you, James, for always getting on and getting that. But let's get back to the West Virginia game versus Iowa State. Purdy had a sus game, I guess you want to say, because I mean, you going for 27 attempts and you only doing 180 yards. That's a lot of dinking and dunking right there for me. What's your takeaway from this game?
It is, and there was no real. They had the one explosive play with Tarque Milton, the wide receiver. They had, and Xavier Hutchinson had a few receptions, but no big plays. And what happens when you don't get big plays?
Jacob, we are not betting. This is the difference. We're not betting. We're just letting you know who we think is gonna win based on the lines. It's not betting. We're not betting.
Yeah, man. Let people know this. You ask me for information on a team or a game, I'll tell you. I don't bet.
You don't bet?
No, I don't bet. I don't bet. Yo, man, I have learned in 59 years that the people that know the best about the lines are the guys that make the lines. Why would I bet against them?
I bet against them a lot and I lose a lot. So
exactly.
We don't get into that though.
The only real betting I do is my wife has a football pool every week, and I put in the picks for her, and she wins sometimes. Last year we won like $2,000, which is nice. But like that's just picking games. No lines, no spread, no money out of my pocket, $20 a week. I'm done.
Yep. Definitely. All right. But yeah, this was a close one. I like this West Virginia team. I mean, they still need to get some more recruits in there. I mean, I just said his name, Neil. He just got to that team. So once we start seeing his recruits start coming out, I want to see how this team really develops because, I mean, this team plays hard for him. They really do play hard for him. And I do, ever since he came to that program, I really like what he's been doing. Came from Troy University. I really do like what he's doing over there in West Virginia. I think they have a bright future.
They do, and Jared Doak, their quarterback, had a really nice game. He did throw 2 picks, but he also threw for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, and my guy, Lady Brown, man. I mean, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm happy he had a great game because I've been talking about him all in the preseason. I thought he was one of the running backs that were gonna really pop out, and he really hasn't this year yet. But it's great to see him have a good one this week.
He had a really nice game, 5 receptions, 25 yards too. So he helped balance out their offense. They had Bryce Witten had 6 receptions for a little over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Winston Wright had 6 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. So they really had a nice thing going on with balancing their offense. I mean, to me, that is the thing that is misleading about everything with football. Yes, you do have to throw the ball to score points. There's no question about that. But I'm not stuck in the 50s and 60s where I want to run the ball, 50 times. But you need at least a 40-60 split running the passing. If you don't, one of your offense is going to struggle or your quarterback's going to get beat up. You decide which is the case. Like we talk about those, like people don't understand. Not only is the run game important for to balance my offense, it's important for my linemen to be physical. I can't expect them to play on skates the whole day and then drive block on every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be consistent with what you're doing on offense, and that means at least running the ball 40% of the time.
I agree. No, I agree. All right, let's get to our next game with that one. All right, let's get to the USC versus Arizona game. Wow, that was Arizona cannot take a break. They have not won a game yet, but they were very competitive game. They were actually underdogs, 21.5 underdogs. They still lost. It was only 1 touchdown, 41-34. What's your takeaway from this one, Ray?
That Keaton Slow has really struggled to the point where he got benched in this game. And he put in Jackson Dart, who had a nice game, 12 for 18, 109 yards and two touchdowns, no picks. Slovis has really struggled since like the tail end of last year. I don't know what is going on with them. Their offensive line is not great. The one thing I know about Dart, he's a little more athletic than Slovis, can get away from pressure a little bit better. That's probably where it began and ended with him. But still giving up 34 points to Arizona. USC's defense has not played well in 3 years. So, I mean, I don't – it's a nice win for them, but I don't see where they're going to do anything down the road here. I'm like we all know they're looking for a new coach. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's a new coach who's going to bang down the door for that job right now, especially not with how the other coach was just handled. So I don't see it happening.
Is this Slovis senior year?
I think he may be a senior. I'll be honest with you, Jerome. I would, if I were him, I would think about transferring.
Yeah, some of us have been lower on Slovis for 2 years now. I mean, I got Jacob. I have to admit that you have to be probably the only one because I thought he was going to be really good. I mean, I know he had some up and downs. I mean, we said this 2 years ago. But he had some inconsistencies within a game where he played higher in the second half, but he just is straight struggling this year. It's just very odd for.
He is a guy who definitely needs offensive line play in front of him. There's no question about that. But and again, he has regressed, and I'm not going to make excuses for him because he's absolutely regressed. 2.5 years, 3 years ago, this kid looks like he was going to be a real player and just has not played as well since. So
I agree. But you have to say that at least USC had more of a balanced offense, at least 323 yards passing, 263 yards rushing. So they had a lot more balance on their offense, which helped them win the game. But and their defense just been bad. I mean, we just say it like it is. Their defense has been bad. But so an Arizona team that's been struggling all year, haven't had a win yet. USC played down to their level.
They did, and Arizona's defense is just really, really bad right now. So, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I do understand. I just don't. I keep thinking that they're going to be okay, but they're just not. They're not good.
Yeah, and I'm definitely hoping that Drake London recovers because that's a guy that I really, really do like, and he got cut off the field. So prayers to him. Hope he does, recover and wherever he decides to do. Hope it, I hope he's not out for the season, which it's kind of looking like it is, but either way, hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. Johnny Dean says Ray looks and sound like like my old position coach with the Buffaloes. That makes me feel old as dirt because I'm older than Ray. Oh wow. That's funny.
Hey man, you say old, I say experienced, okay?
There you go. See, man, myth, the legend right there. That's the man, the myth, the legend right there. Always know what to say next. All right, let's get to our next game. We only got 2 games left. Ole Miss versus Auburn. So Auburn was favored by 3. They were home, so this was a pick'em game. They won 31-21. This looked like a really good game. The reason why I picked this game because Bo Nix is playing pretty well lately. What's your take on
him? He's a cardiac kid, man. He's up and down as anybody. He just 1 week, and the bad thing about him is it's not even week to week; it's play to play.
Yeah,
he have like 3 or 4 good plays in a row, and then 2 or 3 plays where you're like, "What were you just thinking just then?"
Yeah.
Like, he thinks he's Brett Favre, and he's not.
Yeah.
Just needs to set. The one thing about Bo Nix is when he sets his feet, he's fairly accurate, and when he doesn't, he is dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I feel like he's trying to like live up to the hype of his dad being an NFL player. So I think that kind of like weighs on him a little bit. Because like when he first started, that was like all they talked about, and like for me, I feel like he tries to press too much sometimes when he don't need to.
Well, again, I mean, I watched the kid a lot. I mean, I watch Auburn because they're on a decent amount. And going back to last year against North Carolina, they should have beat North Carolina last year. But Bo Nix played like Bo Nix, thrown off the wrong foot and hanging balls up to dry. Like I just don't. Yeah. I don't know what he sees sometimes, and I don't know that. I think that's his problem. I don't think he sees the field as well as he should as a quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any hope left for Spencer Rattler? I mean, he has to transfer. He's going to transfer.
I heard. I keep hearing Oklahoma State actually.
Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I heard Oklahoma State.
I like their current quarterback though.
Okay.
I think he's. I don't know. Spencer Rattler's. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, here's another one.
I have a slight personal bias against him.
For
he inside the hatch was supposed to interview him. He kind of stood us up.
What was that? This year or last year?
No, when he was still in high school, he was about to. He was already committed.
Well, I think
at that point, but
and this is coming from an observation. I don't know Spencer Rattler at all, obviously, but I think he is like he's the kind of kid that reads his press clippings.
He's a little full of himself.
Right. I think he needs to. He's a guy who probably needs to be pushed on a consistent basis, and I think when you're a quarterback, people tend to not want to push you as much as they should. So,
yeah, Jacob. Yep, that's what happened. I don't talk about it a lot because I try not to bash the kid, but it happened anyway. And of course, I put it on our live podcast, say something like that in a live podcast. But anyway, that's besides.
Well, I mean, honestly, Jerome, who's more famous, Spencer Rattler or you right now?
You're right, and Drew, you're right. He's got to mature. He's still kid. You're right. Kevin said Jordan Love would never. We did interview Jordan Love. Drew said kids.
Well, the thing about Rattler more than anything else is just talent is there. From here, meaning my hand, to here, somehow he loses it.
Yeah.
Because he's another one who thinks he can – you know what? I hate to say this, man. Patrick Mahomes ruined it for quarterbacks.
Let's go, Drew. Drone's way more famous.
Exactly. That's my point. Where's Spencer Rattler right now? You know?
Who is that? Who's that guy? I don't know. But anyway, thanks Drew for being on, my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to get back to the Auburn game, this is why Bo Nix. I just think he's playing a lot better, and we'll see how he does moving forward. He still got, like you said, Ray. He still has some. Hey, Johnny said Jerome isn't sitting pine.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Exactly.
But all right, so let's get to our last game, and I'm happy that everybody's in here when I'm about to talk about my team losing. This is awesome. But we're gonna talk about the last game, the Michigan versus Michigan State game. So Ray, before you go, I had to say my spill. I was extremely depressed this whole weekend. I can't even I don't think I can enjoy us beating the Drew. We got the L. Yes. I couldn't enjoy the Eagles beating the Lions because of this game. Even though it was just the Lions, it's another Michigan team, so it kind of reminded me of Michigan while he's playing them. But in all seriousness, now looking back at it and after thinking about it, it was a good game. It was really a good game. Michigan had the lead though, and we shouldn't have lost that game. I mean, three turnovers. The 3 turnovers that we had definitely determined the game. One being I think it was 2 fumbles and an interception. If I'm not mistaken. Ray, I texted you last week right after the game. I didn't text you exactly right after the game, but Johnny says go Sparties. Boo! But anyway, I said this to you right after the game, not too close after the game, so I was still kind of processing everything in my head. But so what about that fumble call? I'm getting to that, Jacob. I said this to you, Ray. Why would you take out your quarterback, your seasoned quarterback, have experience, for a freshman quarterback that only comes in for gadget plays and don't have a lot of experience on the field, and it was a critical part of the game and bad conditions too. I didn't like that decision, and sometimes, I know Jim Harbaugh he's not a bad coach. I get on him a lot, but I hate him sometimes because he does. I think he thinks he's too smart sometimes. I really do think he's too smart sometimes. And sometimes you just can't. You just gotta play. You just gotta play. And there's another time when we went for it on 4th down and we could have got a field goal, so that was points off the board. So there's little things like that, and the interception at the end, it was a killer. We could have, tied. Went down the field, but at that point, there was very little time. Drew says trick plays are genius when they work. I agree with you, but this one didn't work, obviously. And Kenneth Walker is a beast. I mean, I can't take that away from him. I knew that before even playing him. He is a beast. I know something about the Michigan also is that when we play good running backs, we struggle against them. I mean, the Saquon Barkleys, the Jonathan Taylors, the Ezekiel Elliott's, the J.K. Dobbins. When we play the elite running backs, we always struggle against them. This man had 5 touchdowns by himself. Basically carried that team offensively by himself. So Michigan got the wrong Harbaugh. I agree. But Ray, what's some of your takeaway from this? Because I can literally talk about this all day.
Well, like you said, put J.J. McCarthy in a bad situation and probably at the wrong time. And that's number one and foremost. Like you said, Kenneth Walker is just a stud, man. The kid is so good, man. I think he's still running past your defense right now as we speak, but he's really good. And what surprised me is Cade McNamara has played well this year, and you took him off the field, and I didn't understand why you're doing that. I mean, Jerome, I hate to tell you this, there's not a good football coach in the world that doesn't think he's the smartest guy in the room.
That's true.
That's true.
But Ray, that was my point though with that, because Nakamura been playing well all game. Forget about the rest of the season. This is probably this was his best game playing for us ever. This is his best game playing for us. Why would you take him out the game when he's being successful? And like I said, a critical part of the game. I think it was fourth quarter. Yeah, it was fourth quarter. We was only up by a touchdown at that point, I believe. Like, why do that? Like, you had the elements against you. You have inexperience against you. You were moving the ball. Why go to something like that and take him out the game and then lose a possession? Like, that bothered me. That play just bothered me. I mean, we let them come back. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, Michigan State, and I'm not taking anything away from Michigan State. They're a really good team. The quarterback is kind of we had our way with him, to be honest. But that running game is really good. The offense game and the play action game works for them. So they do what works for them, and they do it very well.
Yeah, they play very well in the fourth quarter, but I think that, like you said, I think Michigan kind of gave them too many plays at the end of the game. I would like to ask Jim Harbaugh how he would like it if they took him off the field in critical situations in the game. See what he says. I mean, I just don't I mean, and this is coming from a Notre Dame fan who basically has been playing two quarterbacks for the last month. Mm-hmm. But the difference is no one is taking hold of the game. Like, Cone has played well, but you see McNamara actually has stepped his game up to now where maybe you can rely on him and you don't need gadget plays.
I agree. So I 100% agree, right? Because that was one of my biggest concerns coming into this season, because we didn't know how McNamara would play this year. I mean, he didn't get a lot of experience last year. He came in after Joe Milton got benched, and it was okay. It wasn't like great. It wasn't good. It wasn't even solid. It was okay. Like, it was there. And this year he definitely put especially not having Ronnie Bell. I mean, not having Ronnie Bell and the way he's playing right now is different. They should, right? That would be the best move ever in college football, seeing someone drag Jim off the field, kicking and screaming.
Well, to me, Michigan's linebackers played really undisciplined in the third and fourth quarter.
They did.
Now, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to put pressure and get to the quarterback, which they did a good job of that. Mm-hmm. But you can't shoot gaps against a guy like running back like Kenneth Walker, because all he needs is a yard and he gets by you, man. And then he's one of them guys he don't look incredibly fast, but when he's running downhill, man, try to catch him from behind. It's not easy.
Yeah, 100%. This kid is definitely going to be a Heisman, get some Heisman votes coming in. That's how good he is.
Michigan State players don't win Heisman's, though. Come on.
That's true. But I will say this: Michigan State is now number 4 or 5. I can't remember now. Michigan is number 9 at the moment now. I will say this: this game hurts. This game could knock us out, but if Michigan does what they're supposed to do, we can still be in playoff contentions, actually. Because you gotta remember, we play Indiana this week. We still got Penn State. We still got Ohio State. I think we got another pretty good game.
You know what? You know what's weird though, Jerome? Them losing to Maryland. If you beat Indiana now, it doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
Shame to say.
Yeah, 100%. No, I get that. It's just when looking at it, right? Ohio State had to play Michigan State.
Ohio State is going to kill Michigan State, dude.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, they're not. Look, I'm gonna say this, and Michigan State fans, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. They're not a better team than us. You're really not. I'm sorry. They're not a better team than us. Overall, better team. Y'all got the better. I think we got all coached. to be honest. I really do think we got outcoached. I'm not saying that Michigan State is a bad team, but I don't think
they're a good team. No, they're a good team. The thing I don't understand about Jim Harbaugh is, like, he played tight in that fourth quarter. He coached tight in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him do that this year.
Mm-hmm.
It surprised me.
100%. Definitely. All right, so that's going to do it for us for week 9. Jerome's still a little depressed. He's just going back and talking about it, but it's okay. And I'm also depressed because what is this? So I am down 13 games. Oh my goodness, those numbers don't seem right. Also, those numbers are a little off.
Jerome, you keep track of that, man. All I know is
numbers might be a little off, though.
We had all the same teams last week, except for you picked against me on 2.
Yeah, because I got 90. Look, if you calculate that, I got 90 games and you got 93. So something's off right there. I'm gonna bump you down a little bit. You got 93 games, or maybe I'm supposed to have 3 more games. I don't know. I'll recalculate it later on. But I am in the loser seat right now to Ray. Ray is killing me. Yes, Johnny. I am doing very horribly. I'm picking with my heart, and maybe I shouldn't. But we're gonna get to our pick'ems right now. Let's get to some week 10 pick'ems. But before we do that, let's get to our guy, Mr. James. So let's see what games he has for us before we get to our own pick'ems. So he has Arizona versus USC. Do we have that game right? No, we don't. So who you got for that? No, we do have that game.
We do.
So, we're gonna get to that one, James. Wyoming versus Colorado. So Ray, I know we don't have that one for sure. Who you got in that one?
Do you have any idea what the line is in that game, Jerome, or no?
He says it's under 50. Let me check for you. Don't have it on hand.
He wants to know about he wants the over under in that game.
Yeah.
Do you know what the over under is in that game?
Let's just give him who we think is gonna win that game. So let me give you the under.
Give me the spread.
The spread is Oklahoma versus Colorado. If you guys know, put it in the chat room.
Wyoming, Colorado.
Wyoming, Colorado. Yes, sir. Let's see. Oh man, I don't see it. Here it is. Oh wait, you have Colorado State. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. All right. I'm like, Colorado, they don't play. All right. Still not seeing the team.
Trying to find the lines right now as we.
Me too, Ray. Me too. Let's see what we got here. I don't see them. I don't know why I'm not seeing them. Let's see.
Colorado.
There we go.
Wyoming.
All right. So Wyoming is home, and but Colorado State is favored 3.5.
Wyoming is at home, and Colorado State. I would take Colorado State then.
Colorado State.
Yep.
All right. So that's one for you, James. All right, we're gonna get to. Did we do Baylor? No, we didn't do Baylor versus. All right, so let's do that. Baylor versus TCU. So I have that one right here. TCU is at home. Baylor's favored 6.5.
They're favored by 6.5.
That's what I got. He has Baylor favored by 2.5. I have 6.5 right
now.
Now
Is he making lines up like sometimes you could take a line from one game and distribute them through a different game. If you got 6.5 and he's only given 2.5, I would take Baylor in a heartbeat.
He said he moved the line.
Right. So if you're only giving up 2.5 and the actual line is 6 or more, I would definitely go with the 2. I would go with Colorado.
You mean Baylor? It's Baylor versus TCU.
Baylor, yeah.
Baylor, okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I would go with anytime if you're sliding the lines around and you have a team that's favored by 6,
Mhm.
and you're not even giving up a field goal, you jump on that.
Definitely. All right. He says Auburn versus Texas A&M. That's one of our pick 'em, so we'll definitely tell you what we got on that one. Fresno State versus Boise State. We have that, so we will tell you as well. But Ray, do you have any games that you feel like will cover the spread?
I like Clemson to cover over Louisville. I like Arizona State to cover over USC, even though it's 9. You're going to win by 2 scores in that game, dude. I like Mississippi State to cover the 5.5 against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And I like West Virginia to cover to maybe even win the game against Oklahoma State, at least cover that 3.5 point line.
Definitely. All right, awesome. Well, thanks for that, Ray. All right, let's get to our pick'ems. So the first game that we're gonna talk about is Wake Forest versus UNC. UNC is at home. They are favored only by 2.5 points. Wake Forest is ranked number 9, undefeated, but still North Carolina at home is favored by 2.5. Who you taking, Ray?
You know what, Jerome? I'm gonna take North Carolina. That's a little bit of my Mac Brown bias there, but I'll take them. Wake Forest is probably a little bit of a better team right now, but I'll take you. I'll take North Carolina. I think that they're playing better football right now. So,
Ray,
do it, Jerome. Go ahead.
No, I'm actually agreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm actually agreeing with you because I thought I was going to be different on this one, and I'm actually agreeing with you. They've been playing a little bit better. Wake Forest, although they're undefeated right now and they're ranked number 9, I don't know who they play that well. Like any good games they play?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think they play anybody like significant enough for me to give them like warrant that they are a really, really good team. Now, I think they got that high of a ranking because there's not a lot of undefeated teams this year, which is very odd, by the way. I forgot to talk. Well, I wanted to talk about that earlier because a lot of the top teams, a lot of them have losses. There's only a few of them that don't. It's just kind of weird and unheard of. But anyway, yeah, Ray. I'm agreeing with you with this one. And I was actually surprised because I thought you was going to take Wake Forest. To be honest, that's why I was so surprised.
No, I honestly, even though Notre Dame beat North Carolina this week, I thought they played fairly well. I really did. I thought their defense played a lot better, except for a couple missed. I mean, we didn't get into the Notre Dame game, but Kyron Williams is a stud for one. We've talked about that before.
I love that kid.
And it's just weird. Like North Carolina's defense has played way better football the last couple of weeks, but they struggled against Notre Dame. So
definitely. James said, I have Clemson money line on that. Was scary game for me. Would have taken Clemson. Ray, your money. Don't say that to Ray because he's gonna feel bad. He said, Ray, are
Clemson
the money line.
I would take Clemson all day in that game.
Yeah.
All day.
Don't let us know your results. Just don't let us know your results. Just keep it to yourself.
You can let us know the results. Don't hold us responsible if you lose money. That's all I'm going to say.
Blame COVID, Jerome. The recruiting will improve soon. I do agree. But
for who?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm sorry. It's hard. He said, "Damn." He said, "I'm sorry, man. It's okay, man. We just don't want to get you in a pickle, man, with the betting thing. So that's why we kind of stay away from the betting lines and stuff like that."
Well, I use the lines as a tool. Yeah. I don't use the lines as a bet.
Johnny says everyone. Oh, everyone. Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, it's hard to say that. It really is hard to say that this year.
I think that some teams have struggled with recruiting because, but not if you're the better teams.
Correct. All right, let's get to our next game. MSU versus Memphis. Memphis is home, but MSU is favored by 4.5. Who are you taking?
I'm taking that as SMU.
What did I say? Did I say MSU?
SMU and Memphis.
SMU.
Yeah, MSU.
I said MSU. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
SMU. You guys know what I'm talking about. SMU.
Yeah, we know. Well, I got it written down right in front of me. I know exactly what you were talking about.
I'm taking them too, but Memphis is a good team.
They're an offensive team. They don't play any defense.
Okay. I was about to correct myself, right? You took it right on my. They are a good offensive team. But they, I think they could do their thing. Let's get to our next game. And this was one of James' picks. So this will be Auburn versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is at home. They're favored by 4.5. 13 versus 14. Who are you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Texas A&M.
I am too. I don't like agreeing with you.
If you agree with me a little bit more, maybe you wouldn't be down by 30 games.
Yo, what?
Sorry, man.
You might be right on that, though. You might be right on that.
I'm sorry, man. It's boring. If we agree on everything, it's boring. I know that.
Yeah. You're right. But no, I Texas A&M, I think still is the better team. Both are 6-2.
They are, and like I said, you got good Bo Nix last week. Don't be surprised if you get bad Bo Nix this week.
Yeah, and I think Texas A&M is still more talented. I feel like they're getting their groove back too.
They are, and their running back is a stud. We know that. So.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Yeah. Some is definitely our stud there.
Yep.
Let's go to our next one: Michigan State versus Purdue. Michigan State is only favored by 3.
I'm going to take Michigan State to win the game, but I don't know if they're going to cover it. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think people are going to be surprised about how close this game is. I really do.
I agree with you, Ray. I'm taking Michigan State too, though.
I'm taking Michigan State. No, I'm taking Michigan State to win the game. Yeah. Purdue has played better football the last month. I think they're going to keep it competitive. They will.
They really have. They got some sneaky players on that Purdue team. That will make the NFL for sure. Particularly their defensive lineman. I never can say his name right. I forgot how I say his name, but that kid is nice. What's the spread on that state game? Johnny says
Oklahoma State or Michigan State.
If you're talking Michigan State, is
2.5.
I have 3 for Michigan.
I have 2.5 for Michigan State.
So if that's what you're talking about, Johnny, please clarify that for we can know. But if you're talking about
if it's your Oklahoma State game, okay.
Yeah, he is talking about the Michigan.
Yeah, it's like between 2.5 and 3. Yeah. I think Michigan State will win the game. I just think that I think Purdue has played good football. I think they'll keep it competitive for a while there. So
definitely. All right, we got Oklahoma State versus West Virginia. I just talked very highly of this West Virginia team. Ray, who are you taking?
This is a weird game for me because I got Oklahoma State to win the game, but I got West Virginia to cover the line.
Ray. All right, I'm doing the same thing, Ray. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, like on both ends. I think Oklahoma State, and I said this before, Oklahoma State is a good team. I really do like that team. And I am going to take them over West Virginia, although I just praised West Virginia not too long ago. But I think Oklahoma has the better defense, so I will match up with West Virginia offense a little bit better. That
is what scares me a little bit. Their defense is a little better than West Virginia. I think offensively, West Virginia will do some nice things, but I don't think they'll do enough to. Again, I think they'll cover the line. I think it's like a 2-point game. I think it's going to be a really close game.
Yeah, I got 3.5 for Oklahoma State.
I have 3.5, 4 on my thing here, and if I can get 4 points with West Virginia, I think they can score with just almost anybody in the country. So I like that. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, next one. Mississippi State versus Arkansas. Arkansas is at home and favored by 4.5. Who are you taking, Ray?
I got Arkansas.
This one's tough for me. I am leaning Arkansas. I am. I'm just gonna do it. I think at the beginning of the season, I already said this too. Arkansas is playing really good football. They lost a couple to some really good teams, and I think that's good on them. Johnny Dean says, "Great show, guys. Uh, I'm going to get you guests on my show." Yes, let's go. We'll definitely be on your show one day. So let us know, man.
Sounds awesome.
For sure, man.
Like we say all the time, anybody who would like to come on board with us, you're more than welcome, man.
Yeah, let us know. We're gonna have special guests next week, by the way.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something, dude. I value everyone's opinion. I do. I mean, and the thing that people don't understand is, even when I do draft, I read everything.
Yes,
everything. Because one opinion, 5 opinions is better than one. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah. So anytime y'all guys want to come on, let us know how we doing on here. If there's anything y'all would like us to do, please let us know for sure. But we do got a couple more picks, so don't log off now. Don't log off yet. We do got a couple more. So let's do these last couple. And I think one of them James asked for. So James, if you are still on, please stay on so you can see this one. We're gonna do Boise State versus Fresno State. Fresno State is home. They are ranked 23. I didn't even know that. And they are favored by 5. Who are you taking?
Taking Fresno State.
This
is one where the blue turf is going to bite your arm in the rear end.
So the good thing is that they won't be on the blue turf. They'll be on the red turf. Yeah, Fresno State playing on red, right?
Yeah, but I know how you feel about Boise State, man.
All right, so this is hard for me because I haven't seen a Fresno State game all year. So I don't know. I know very little about them. That's why I was surprised they're 23. I haven't seen a single Fresno State game. Boise State been exactly how the record been. I'm gonna take a page out of Ray's book and go with the line. I'm gonna go Fresno. Simply because I just don't know that team well enough. Damn. All right. Good. All right, let's get to our next one. What will be Texas versus Iowa State? Right, who's taking in that one?
I got Iowa State in that game.
Iowa State. Iowa State is actually favored big. They were not favored that much before. They're home. They're favored by 6.5. To Texas. I have not went for Texas all year, and I'm not going to now. So Iowa State it is. But this is definitely the game of inconsistent teams and inconsistent quarterbacks. We talked about this in the beginning of the year. They're both very inconsistent. Let's get to one of the games that James had. And this one moved a lot as well. The USC versus Arizona State. Arizona State is home, favored by 8.5. Right, who you taking on this one?
I got Arizona State.
Yeah.
USC. Arizona State's defense is going to manhandle that offensive line.
Yeah, I'm going the same way. This line moved very, very. I mean,
it is going from 6.5 to like 9.5 in 3 days.
Yeah, and when I looked at it, and I usually typically before to get ready for the show, I typically look at the lines about either Sunday night, Monday evening. So within that time frame, it moves a few times. It definitely moved a few times. So
I know. I looked at it Monday and morning, and by this morning it moved almost 3 points.
Yeah.
And I just think that like people think Slovis has struggled. And we talked about the young quarterback who played fairly well, but is going to play out well against Arizona State's defense? Probably not.
Definitely. All right. Next game will be Clemson versus Louisville. Clemson is only favored by 4 points. They are away. Who you taking, Ray?
Clemson all day in that game, man.
Same. Oh man, we're agreeing way too much. I'm not moving that needle at all. All right, last game.
But you're not losing any more ground either, though.
That's true. All right, let's get to our last game. This might be different. I don't know. We'll see. We got Kentucky versus Tennessee. Kentucky is home. They're ranked 18, but Tennessee is favored by 1.
I got Tennessee.
I'm taking Kentucky all day,
Good.
right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing you need to understand, Jerome. On Monday, that line was 1.5 for Kentucky.
Yeah, no.
Today, it's a point the other way.
I'm okay with that.
I know. I like it.
It's not that big of a difference to me.
I like it.
All right, we got it. We got one, guys. We got one, guys.
There you go. I like it.
So I'm taking Kentucky, right? Taking Tennessee. This is the one game I'm gonna have to.
I love it when people pick the other side. It just excites me.
I think
it's like when I do my draft evaluations and people tell me I'm wrong. I love that.
All right, let me look at their schedule because I know Kentucky lost to Georgia. I know that for a fact, and they lost to Mississippi State. Two good teams. They beat Florida when they was ranked. They beat
Florida is a fraud team. Go ahead.
Missouri team that you had highest praise for.
Missouri has 1, 2, 3, 4 good players. Go ahead.
They beat South Carolina, which they're not that good of a team.
Yeah.
And Chattanooga and Louisiana Monroe. So and LSU. They destroyed LSU 42-21. So I mean Tennessee, solid team, but I still think Kentucky is a good team. I really do.
If it's a good team and they're playing at home, why are they favored to lose?
They're coming off a 2-game losing streak. I have a theory about that. When a team's coming on 2-game losing streak, they typically don't lose a third unless they're a really bad team. It's not a very bad team. They're gonna get it together and they're gonna win.
Okay. Just keep
all right. So if Kentucky wins, Ray, I'm gonna do my victory dance on this podcast. Just like
okay. All right. Well, all I know is
that might be a loss for our viewers, but
I think I can handle one loss, man. I'm a Dolphins fan, dude. I'm 1-7. Okay, brother. That's really handling losses.
That's true. I'll give you that, Ray.
It makes me. I told you the other day, man. If I had the money, I would fly down to Miami and beat up my owner.
That's a conversation that we need to have later.
I just don't. Sure. As much as I love college football, right, and as much as I love Notre Dame, if Notre Dame was 1-7 right now, I would probably want to kill somebody. Like people have no idea what it's like. I started out as a Dolphins fan, and they were a bad team. Like in the late 60s, early 70s, they were horrible. And then they became really good for like 20 years where they never lost. They never had losing seasons. And now I'm like the laughing stock.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Michigan too, because it's like it's not that they're a laughing stock or anything like that, but like since I've been fully invested in Michigan football, we haven't really won that much. I think like the first couple of years I started watching Michigan, it was really, really good. And then, as I become like a deeper fan, I started like really investing myself in knowing the players that play with on the team and understanding who the coaches were and all
so
that.
You understand, right? If I say to you, give me a couple of defensive linemen to play for Michigan, and you can probably spout out a couple really quickly. Yeah. And defensive backs too. Name one good linebacker that played at Michigan, dude.
Currently?
Ever.
Devin Bush. Stop playing. Stop playing. Lamar Woodley. Stop playing, Ray. Stop playing with my team. Stop playing with my team, Ray. Come on. We had good linebackers. Stop playing.
Yeah. Maybe you should have let a couple play last week. You might have won the game.
We could have used them in the last game. But yeah, so that's how I feel about my teams. Like this year, I got the Eagles. They're not playing that well. And honestly, it's weird because I came into the season not expecting much from the Eagles. So like when the Eagles lose, it hurts. But when Michigan lost our first game this season, I was literally depressed all weekend.
That was the thing for me too. Like like for the last couple of years, I knew Miami was going to be bad, and then last year we actually had a decent season, and I knew that you could build your team and still be a little more talented, and still not win 10 games because last year you pulled out a couple wins you probably shouldn't have got, but to see them regress to where they are now is like. I get up every Monday morning and listen to the press conferences with my coach and the player, and I'm like, you know what, Jerome? Here's the thing: when you're winning, you're a coach. You can say whatever you want, but people don't want to hear that you know everything, and they're stupid. When you're losing, they don't, and I don't want to hear it anymore.
Oh yeah, and it's okay. My coach talking about flowers and growing flowers and stuff.
You know what, though, Jerome? As corny as it seems, I understood what he should have said was, "We're laying the foundation, for a winning team. We believe."
Weird analogy.
When he was
trying to say made sense, but
grown men don't want to hear about flowers and fertilizer. They want to hear about steel and concrete. We laying the foundation would have made sense. We're blossoming. No.
Oh my goodness.
No.
And then the roots in the
roots and the seeds. No.
You know, when we're ready, we're
laying the foundation for what we feel like we need to tell our players to become a winning team. We understand we have a lot of work. We're planting the seeds and dude, like, come on, man. But
But that's good to do it for us today on the RPO.
Yes. we go really wild there the last 5 minutes.
Football podcast, right?
I know.
I'm Jerome Jones. This is Ray Roberts, guys. Make sure you check us out on all of social media, Inside the Hashes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, make sure you check us out on our website, InsideTheHashes.com. You can find all our content. We got fantasy football. Jerome's coming for a comeback. I'm 500 at this point, so I'm back, guys. I'm sorry, Ray. But seriously, guys, check us out on our website, InsideTheHashes.com, and also check out our YouTube channel because we got some interviews about to come out, some good players that we just starting to interview. So make sure you check that out. Search Inside the Hashes on there, and also if you watching this on YouTube, leave a comment on our YouTube channel underneath. So we can go back and comment on there. But if you want to comment live when we are live, go hit that notification button so you know when we are live, and you can be like our other guys in here, like James and Johnny and Jacob and all the other guys. Definitely go on our chat when we are live, and we can answer your comments live on here as well. So that's gonna do it for us, guys. Appreciate you guys seeing us on a Thursday night. We got some NFL football about to come on, so let us get our butts out of here. But we do appreciate each and every one of you guys. We appreciate all the guys from get notification, hit that bell. Thank you, Drew. I don't know what I was about to call you, bro. But anyway, thank you guys for checking us out. We do appreciate every last one of you being on with us. We really do appreciate coming on. Also, shout out to our guys, Air It Out Podcast, who came on right before us. They had an incredible podcast, so we do appreciate that. Drew said, "Let's go Jets." I don't know why you said that because you are not a Jets fan, you are an Eagles fan. But anyway, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. You guys enjoy some football. Enjoy your college football weekend. We're gonna see you next week on Wednesday, the appropriate day. We might have some special guests, so definitely come on and check that out. So that's gonna do it for us today. I'm Jerome Jones. This is Ray Roberts. Thank you guys so much, and we hope you enjoy your football. Peace.